Hello, everyone. Diana Rankin here. Sorry for the squeaky chair. You'd think I would take care of that, wouldn't you? Anyway, welcome. It's Friday afternoon. Here where I am, it may be a little bit earlier where you are. I'm on the East Coast time. And this is our ninth week of 2021. And so this is for February the 28th through March the 6th this week. Since we're not doing predictions weekly, I probably don't need to announce that, do I? We will do the March predictions probably, I don't know about tomorrow, but I'll get to them this weekend, hopefully. That's the plan. All right. So here we go. We're going to answer a viewer's questions about nightmares, what they mean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, hello, Lori. Good to see you. We will also get a message from one of my books, the Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. And here we just flip through and we'll get our answer, our soul message of the week. So whether you're joining us live as Lori is, or and as Wendy is, hello, Wendy, or you're catching up tomorrow or the next day or whenever, welcome. I'm so grateful that you come to the videos every week, and let's get right into our question. The question's kind of long. It's got a multiple different parts to it. So here's what the questions are. The writer says, lately, many people have been experiencing a lot of nightmares. Is this because of collective fear, or are we working through shadow work in the dream time? Are we clearing collective darkness, perhaps? And then this writer or viewer reports that they've had dreams where they were a different person on the outside, but still with their same consciousness. And in their dreams, they suffered a horrible death. And they're asking, are these dreams of past life memories? Grab a helper here. So here's what Phillip has to say about all of these different points about the dream time. Phillip says, we are looking at the phrase, many people have been experiencing a lot of nightmares. Of course, hello, Annika, namaste, everyone, she says. So I have to laugh because this is the very stickler teacher of Phillip speaking when he says, we are looking at the phrase, many people have experienced a lot of nightmares. We question the context of the word many, which is unclear to us. So without clarity on the context, we are unable to commit on many. So he's saying many could be 10 if it's a group of 15, or many could be thousands. So he's just saying he's not going to comment on many. He doesn't understand what that means. That's cool. Phillip goes on to say, as we move on, let us look at what humans refer to as nightmares and the different reasons for them. The viewer asks, are nightmares a response to collective fears? In answering this, we will also address what is a nightmare. If a person is sensitive to the energy of others, which includes all energy, people, animals, the planet, and so on, and if a person does not protect themselves, especially before sleep, they may often dream the pictures of the energy. And that's what they're dreaming. That's what a nightmare is, the pictures of the energy that they've taken in. I love that phrase, the pictures of the energy. Not something I would have thought of on my own. So thank you, Phillip, for that. I found that fascinating, that we're just dreaming the pictures of the energy that we've taken in for that day. It is quite easy to protect yourself from unwanted energy. A simple prayer or meditation before sleep is advised. Cleansing one's energy at any time may be accomplished by asking your Mother Earth for cleansing. Since there are multiple ways to cleanse one's energy and multiple ways to protect oneself from picking up everyone's energy, we will leave this discussion for another time. For now, we shall return to the discussion of nightmares. There are those who in this lifetime who have taken on, there are those in this lifetime. Let me repeat this correctly as it's written. There are those who, dash, in this lifetime, who have taken on the clearing of collective darkness. The clearing of collective darkness, as the writer calls it. The writer's calling it collective darkness. Those who do so often work in the dream time, as during times of consciousness, the mind is often otherwise occupied. If someone is working to clear the collective darkness, they must do this. And he's giving us two things they must do. One, they must say a prayer of protection before entering sleep. And two, they must clear their own darkness they created in other life experiences and also in this current life experience. That makes sense. So if you consider yourself a light worker who is working to clear collective darkness, you have to do two things. One, say a prayer of protection before entering sleep. And two, clear your own darkness in other life experiences and in this current life experience. Phillip goes on to say, fear, anger, pain, and other dark energies are all created by the thought emotion system of each being. Those who wish to work in the light need heal themselves. As they do, they help to heal all beings. This is not to say you cannot work with others while working on your own healing. It is to say one must recognize that working with others does not excuse the human from healing their wounds, which is what causes the darkness individually and collectively. To address the question of seeing oneself, before we go on, I want to address this healing. We all came in as a being, as a soul, we all came in to take on a healing. And it may be a healing from a wound from another life. It may be a wound that we see needs to be healed. And so we take that on as a soul. And it will come out within our lifetimes, how our lives are lived, how we overcome that which needs to be healed. For example, a lot of my clients and are drawn to me because of the energy that I have had in my life of the abandonment issue, the abandonment script. And that abandonment script, it's so easy for me to recognize in others because what it says to me is a parent was either missing in the life physically or emotionally. And so with that abandonment script, and this is changing, by the way, we are healing this. And so it becomes less and less important, or will become less and less important to have two parents in a family. This abandonment script is being healed, but it could take a little bit longer. We don't do the healing overnight. But what it really is about is getting over that feeling of being abandoned and not choosing partners that you feel will abandon you. It gets deeper than that, and I won't go into it. But we all have a script that we've chosen as souls that we're healing in this lifetime. And that's what Phillip talks about that's what he's referring to when he talks about healing. So let's go on. To address the question of seeing oneself in a different body during a dream, we offer two suggestions. Yes, this certainly may be dreaming of yourself in a different life experience, or it may be that in this lifetime, the dreamer is unable to identify with the current body or event shown in the dream. I couldn't read my own writing there. Or event shown in the dream. If this is seeing a different life, the question must be asked as to how the events relate to this life and what from that former life needs to be healed so that can be healed and not repeated in this life. If the dreamer is unable to identify with their chosen body in this life, they have the need of correcting that. We ask you to also consider the very obvious. The conscious mind takes note of and stores all information it receives. Humans must be aware of what they are feeding their consciousness, for the dream time will be active with the information gleaned by the conscious intake. sometimes just the way, Philip, the syntax, it's like, whew, okay. We know we have presented you with more than one specific and definitive answer. This is because there are multiple answers and each must be considered. We suggest a dream journal be kept where the nightmare is recorded and analyzed. It is recommended that if you are working with a group, you share to learn if others in the group had a similar nightmare. If so, then it is a collective wound the group is healing to dispel darkness and bring forth the light. If no one else experienced the nightmare, it can then be assumed the dream is personal and must be dealt with. We leave you with this. Each being experiences what they chose to experience, whether from a soul level or a human level. The choice may not be about the situation, but instead be reflective of the thought pattern. At any time, you can choose to change a thought pattern. Simply replace light with darkness, love with fear. And I like that simply replace because, as we all know, it's not that easy, is it? Well, Cynthia, hello, good to see you. And Johanna, good to see you. And Annika says, lately I have been experiencing sensibility at the same time, love, working in acceptance, forgiveness, and detachment. Thank you. Yes. You know, we hear it all the time. Back in the 60s, the word was be in the now. And we're certainly still hearing that. And yet that is a difficult concept, I think, to grasp, be in the now. But for me, what it means is, we have to have boundaries. Boundaries have to be very, very clear for us. And that's something that we may be working on most of our lives. But if we take a situation that angers us and we're able to look at that situation and say, I'm not going to push down that anger. I'm not going to forget it. I'm going to look at it in the now. And I'm going to say a prayer, or I'm going to ask for help. And how can I turn this anger into a different emotion, into a love emotion, and also use it constructively? So we want to change the emotion, which means we have to work through the issue. So we change the emotion without suppressing it. We look at it and turn it into an emotion we can work with and change it into a constructive action. And always remember, love is an action verb. Okay, let's see what Phillip has to say here, shall we? And again, thank you all so much for coming week after week. And I thank you for your comments below. I'm so grateful for you. Your comments are beautiful. Thank you. I so appreciate them. And I also thank you for the questions that you have, that you can just put them in the comments below. You can email me separately. They get lost sometimes. I get so many emails. But do let me know of your comments, your questions that you have. I am happy to have Phillip answer them. I just ask that the questions be of general nature, where the whole audience would have some interest in that, not just those of specific questions or specific to you. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So we just flip through and we just open to any page. I'm hearing left. So if you got left, that's a message for our intuition is just in sync here. But if you got right, that's a message you need to listen to. Okay. So on the left, it says, the bud of the flower will not grow where only weeds are planted. The bud of the flower will not grow where only weeds are planted. My friends, think about that. Because if you think about that, that has a lot to do with what we talked about with Phillip's message, with the nightmares. And if we are watching cops and robbers show all day long, if we are constantly getting upset about things, if we are in that survival mode, really pay attention, because the dream time allows us to release that which we're holding on to or that which we've experienced. I forget the exact words that Phillip said. I love the way he phrased it. I don't know if I can find it here quickly or not. Humans must be aware of what they are feeding their consciousness, for the dream time will be active with the information gleaned by the conscious intake. So we've got to be very careful of what we're taking into our minds, including from those around us, because if we're taking in the energy of those around us, we've got to be aware of that. So be aware. On the right side, this is a message for those of you who got right. Find peace and war will be meaningless. Find peace and war will be meaningless. Mhm. That's really, both of these are so perfect for our message, or our question, and what Phillip tells us for this week. The bud of the flower will not grow where only weeds are planted. Beware of what you put into your mind. And find peace and war will be meaningless. You know, keep in mind, the choice is yours. What is it you want to experience every day? You are creating your own world. You may not be able to do anything about the snow outside, where I'm saying snow where you are, it may be sunshine, but where I am, it's full of snow. There's not a whole lot I can do about that, but I can either look outside and see the beauty in the snow with the sun shining on it and sparkling, or I can look outside and go, ah, which world do you want to create? Create love, my friends, and enjoy it. I thank you for being with me today. I thank you for spreading light in your life and in the world. And I thank you for the love that you send to us here. We receive. Until later this weekend, and I will get the March predictions out. All right. Thank you.